Okay, so I know I've kind of broken these videos up weird the last couple of days because, Susie, you get your butt in the way every single time I start recording. Oi. And now Rhea wants outside. Hold, please. Well, we went from winter back to summer again out there, so look at my airplane plant. Look at all the airplanes. Or spiders. I don't know what you call them. I've heard them called both. Anyway. Okay, now back to what I was doing. So I know I've broken these videos up weird the last couple of days, but I just wanted to get a video out, and that way y'all could see it. So now what I'm going to do is I've got an unboxing to do. There was a game called Mythwind. That's a role-playing game. It's a tabletop RPG like Dungeons and Dragons or those kinds of things. And one of the things that Joel and I have talked about as a bonding thing for his family and me is to play games. And so we had been playing a Dungeons and Dragons campaign down in Little Rock with some friends of mine, and that was fine, but it wasn't incorporating his family in any way. And it was starting to get a little bit tiring driving back and forth because we were the ones doing all the driving. Like, we had tried to persuade them to at least drive to Conway and us play at one of the board game cafes, and they didn't seem to warm to that idea. So they decided to switch to playing Call of Cthulhu, which Joel or I, neither one, were interested in playing. And so we thought this was a good opportunity for him to start a game with us. So he's going to start a Dungeons and Dragons campaign for all of us. But I found this game called Mythwind, and I found the Kickstarter for it, but I was too late to back it, and I was really disappointed because it had some really cool aspects to it, and it had some really cool extras. I'm a sucker for the extras. So I was trying to see where I could buy it, and I found on eBay for less than half price the complete all-in Kickstarter set. So that is what has come in the mail today. It has been played once, they said, and all the pieces are here. So let me see if I can get this out. Hang on. Okay, so I've got it out. This is the box that it comes in, or the top of the box. So Mythwind is the game. It's from Open Owl Studios, and it's 1 to 4 players, ages 14 and up. So it's a role-playing game, just like Dungeons and Dragons. That's a different lore. So the kit comes with a whole bunch of stuff. So let's see. Looks like, so let's see. So here's the town charter for Mythwind. It says start here. And then it's got all the gameplay information in here. Then it's got some journals, it looks like. A ranger journal that's got all the information on how to play that class. Merchant, crafter, farmer. So like the different classes of characters. Then it's got, looks like a couple of dice bags. This looks like a map of the area. Then looks like a limited edition print. So that's really cool. I'm a sucker for the all-in stuff because I like all the extras. So then it gives you player boards. So this is the player board for Ranger. Baxter, you're pale. I don't know what this is the player board for, but looks like the player board for something. Maybe farmer. Let's see if we can figure it out. Looks like this. Yeah, farmer. So it's got all these little pieces that this is covering up, but it looks like you're trying to build something. So farmer, crafter. So there's the board for that. And I guess this is probably merchant, maybe. Let me see. It's turned over. Turn it back over. Merchant, yeah, merchant. So this would be all the pieces you would need to play these different classes. So that, I guess that's your 4 characters. Then I have no idea what this is. Maybe how you build the town up. Oh yeah, so there's like dice in here for weather and buildings and all of that stuff. So this is all the town components, it looks like. Oh, and there's a whole bunch of loose cards down in here that I'll have to gather up some way or another. They played it once and then I guess decided they didn't like the way that it played. So, which that's fair. I mean, some of these games require a lot of learning curve. So it looks like these are like the event. So there's different cards you draw to try to see what's going on. So I'll have to straighten all these out, which is fine. And let's see. Then this says Myth Winds, Winds of Magic Overview. Oh, this must be an expansion pack. So this must have been an expansion. So I think the all-in option gave you a bunch of expansion stuff. So what they'll do very often is they'll create a game lore and then they'll expand upon it. And you'll, you know, be able to buy the expansions. So I don't know what this goes to. Delicatessen. Oh, that must be a merchant card. I don't know. But anyway, so I've got to go through and straighten this all up. Then it also comes with the little minis. So you get your little minis. So that looks like, I don't know, maybe this is the crafter and this is the, looks like that would be the merchant probably. And the farmer. And then the ranger. So, yeah. So got all those. And yeah, so that looks like there's a bunch of expansion stuff down in here that I need to straighten up. But I'm pretty excited about that. So that's fun. So that's called Mythwind from Open Owl Studios. Pickle? Did you find the box? Okay. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Amy, you like my board games too? Okay. Well, we're going to talk about my board games. Okay, so I've gone a little over the top on board games, I will admit. I have not bought games in a long, long time. Years. Years. It's been years since I've bought a board game or a puzzle or anything like that. And, oh, Peachy's wanting out. She's sitting over there and waiting for me, being a very good girl. So let me go let her out real quick. Hold, please. Good girl. You ready to go outside? Okay, here we go. My floor is covered in dirty paw prints right there by the door where everybody goes in and out. Because I could clean them up, but then they'll just be there again. So I usually clean them up in the morning and clean them up in the morning again. Anyway, so I've gotten into board games again because one of the things that Joel likes to do, and with his family, is play games. And so as a way for me to integrate myself into them, I wanted to start buying board games again. So haven't played most of these. But I thought I would share the games I have gotten recently, and you might find something in there that you like. I'm going to try to talk about my board games, but here's Baxter. So let me see if I can put my phone right here and have him not knock it down, and I'll show you my games. So I'll start with the ones that are easy to hold up. So this is the first one, called Traders Aboard, and it is a bluffing game. So the object of this is you choose a card to figure out if you're a pirate or if you're a mutineer. And then you have to try to win. So the object of the mutineers is to take over the pirate ship, and the object of the pirates is to get the mutineers off the ship. So it's a bluffing game, basically. I haven't played it yet, but it looks really super fun. And I watched a couple of videos about it, and it looked super fun, so I thought it'd be a lot of fun to play. It takes 3 people, and 3 to 8 people, and it's 10 or older, and it says it takes about 20 minutes to play. So, Pirates Aboard, or Traders Aboard, is that one. Then, I just got this one at Game Goblin the other day when I went in there to take some enchanted flyers. This one's called Trails, and it's a Parks game, and we enjoy some of the Parks games. So, this one is another card game, but it's cards and dice. And you take a hike with trails and explore iconic sites and national parks across the U.S. And it has it's a new standalone game from the Parks series. And this one, let's see, it takes 2 to 4 players, 10 and up, and it takes 20 to 40 minutes to play. Okay, this one I bought on a whim because I thought it looked hysterical. And it's called Happy Little Dinosaurs. Happy Little Dinosaurs, and it is you got to move through a maze, basically, or not a maze, but move through a board, right, to get to different levels, and you draw cards to see if you move. So it says you have to try to avoid the falling meteors. You'll try to dodge all of life's natural, predatory, and emotional disasters. You might fall in lava or get attacked by saber-toothed squirrels or be ghosted by your dino date, but the dino who survives it all wins the game. So, looks like it's 2 to 4 players. Yeah, 2 to 4 players. It takes about 60 minutes, and it's 8 and over. So happy little dinosaurs. And now Sadie wants out, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I'll let Sadie out. So the next one I have played, it's called Abduction. This game is hysterical and fun. And it's about matching patterns. So you have all these little ducks you have to use to match patterns. And you collect cards. Busy every time I try to make a video, here you come. So, yeah, Abduction is fun. I got the one that's got the intergalactic expansion. We haven't played the expansion yet, but you're moving your ducks based on the cards you draw. And it's got a UFO little container with ducks in it. How can you not want to play that game? So this one is very fun. We like this one a lot. Then another one we have not played yet because it takes 3 to 10 players. It's Hues and Cues, and it's kind of like, I think it kind of reminds me of Minesweeper, but about colors. So you are trying to get your friends to get to the right color on the board using cues, 1 or 2 word cues, to get them to hone in on the correct color on this board. Haven't played that one yet. Now this one is a little bit more complex. I've started reading the book. This is a role-playing game called Dialect. Okay, and it is about how they give you different scenarios, and it's about how language changes when a society becomes isolated. So there are words that die off, and there are words that have to be made. And so Dialect is, it says it's a game about language and how it dies, and it is very complex. So I started reading, and it's going to be a huge learning curve to figure out how to play this one, but it looks super intense and fun. So it's a RPG, it's a role-playing game, and you choose, but it's guided by the cards. So that one looks super fun. Then I got this one because I just thought it looked sweet. It's called Look at the Stars, and it's kind of like Battleship in a way, where you draw a card and you have to put it on your board somehow. So you have to, it's kind of like reverse Battleship. You have to judiciously place your constellations to be able to win the game. So you reveal a card, you draw your lines, and then you score points for the constellations and planets and other bonuses. So, yeah, so that one looked pretty fun. Of course, I'm a sucker for astronomy anyway, right? Now, this one we haven't played yet either. So this looks like, this is another, like a tile matching game called Azul. And you have to, you're trying to, it's, well, let's see, what is it? Reminds me of like, almost like a solitaire situation where you're drawing tiles and you're trying to match up your tiles with the picture that you've got. So this one I think you can play with 2 people. Oh, I forgot to say, Look at the Stars is, let's see, it is 2 to 4 players. Dialect takes at least 3 to play because you have to have a game facilitator. Game, this one is 2 to 4 players, 30 to 45 minutes, 8 and over. So then I bought this one at the game store the other day, Everdell. This is a role-playing game, but it is assisted by what looks like Magic the Gathering in a way. These cards remind me of Magic the Gathering, and Joel is super into that game. So I thought this would be fun. This one has won a bunch of awards. It came out in 2018, and it's won a bunch of awards. So this one is, where is it at? It is, where does it tell how many people can play it? And I'll tell you what gets me on these is the cute little animal creatures, because I want to be a badger in a cloak. I want to be a badger wearing a cloak. 1 to 4 players, because you can play it alone. 10 and up, 40 to 80 minutes. So hour and a half, couple hours probably the first time through. Then I bought, because I play Dungeons and Dragons a lot. So there's a new RPG out called, or not new, but Humblewood. Humblewood, this is more like, less than a game board and stuff, more like the campaign, like a campaign setting. So this is like D&D, but again, I want to be an owl wearing armor or a raven in a cloak. So they got me that way. Humblewood is, let's see. So this is a campaign. This actually is a campaign setting for Dungeons and Dragons. That's what this is. So it is a scenario where you can, it's a standalone campaign, but you follow the Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition rules. So, let's see. And I guess you can have as many people play it as you want to, because it's a D&D setting. So, anyway, yay. So there's that one. This one, again, I'm a sucker for fun bird games, so I got Pelican Cove. So this is kind of a learning game for kids, but it's also for adults. And you're trying to save the pelicans. So you have to figure out the patterns and do the math and stuff to figure out the pelicans. It says lay out 8 request cards face up and find out where the pelicans would like to nest. Turn over the sand timer and try to correctly place each pelican in the indicated positions on the nesting board before time is up. Evaluate each pelican's placement and take a penalty stone for each request card that was not fulfilled correctly. After 6 rounds, the player with the least penalty stones wins. So this one, I don't know about this one. This one might be fun. I don't know. Some people, I got to find somebody that likes math as much as I do. Okay. Now, no, we're not getting on me while I'm trying to do this. Okay. One of our favorite games to play recently is this one. If I can get Pickle off of it. It's Trekking the National Parks. So this is a map game where you're moving around a map and you're gathering points. Now, so you've got 2 ways to get points, or several ways to get points. And so you have to move across a map of the United States to get to the different parks. And the more remote the parks, the more points they're worth. But you can only gather those points if you happen to get the card. And there's criteria as to whether or not you can occupy that park and get that card. Then there's stones you can gather, and the stones are worth different amounts. And it's fun. It's just enough strategy to make it interesting, but fast enough gameplay that you're not going, oh my God, are we still playing this game? So this one's really fun. Now, I got this one because Amy Beth of the Fat Squirrel Speaks has played it, and I love birds, so I got Wingspan. I have not played this yet, but I know that she really loves it, and it has won some awards, and I've heard some really wonderful things about it, and I got the extra cards that go with it, too. So, this game just looks really visually beautiful, but she talks about how they liked playing it, so I'm going to try it out. Then today, I got Mythwind. Now, Mythwind is a RPG as well. This was a Kickstarter that I wanted to get in on, and as I said, I missed the window, but I found there is one little piece missing. It's inconsequential, but there is one little tile that was missing, but I think we can make do without it. But this is for 1 to 4 players. You are a class. There's 4 different classes of people, and you're trying to build a town, basically. And so, yeah, so this is the scenario. This is the all-in package, so it's got all the extras and the figures and stuff in it. And since it's open, I thought I would show it to you. So upon reading the directions, apparently there is not a card that goes there. There is not a force card for space number 7 because that's where you put your starting building. So, yay. So I am not missing a piece. That's very exciting. And then, let's see, there was another, okay, so apparently there's not a piece that goes there either. So, good, it's all here. That's very exciting. So, that's why you should read the instructions before you get all concerned about things. So, this book this is the town charter, and it's got all the directions for what you should have in each set. So it looks like, I know one of the dice is over here, so I'm going to put it back. It was in the Ranger box, so I'm going to put it back in the regular box. So there we go. Now I'm all tidy. But anyway, so I'm excited to try to play this. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be a learning curve, but that's okay. Once you learn it, probably is pretty fun to play. So, yay, Mythwind. I thought I'd go ahead and unbox this Humblewood set to see what was in here tonight. So we're going to do that too while we're at it. Put my phone, see if it'll stay right there. So this is a campaign setting like D&D. So this is the rule book. Remember the old AD&D rule books? I like a book. I don't like to have to look things up on my phone because I like to flip back and forth pages and pages. So, yeah. So this is, includes 10 new original player types or races, and then new monsters, magic items, and a compelling adventure for 1st to 5th level characters. So this looks fun. So this is a new rule book here. So the fox. Okay. So I got a map, and looks like another map, and another map, and another map, and another map, and another map. So I got a lot of maps. These are quick reference cards. It looks like monster spells and magic items, so you can pull out what you have and have a quick reference. Then, I don't know how to show this without dumping them out, so I'm not going to. Oh, there's little character pictures here that you can put in these little stands, and you can move your little characters around. So this looks like characters and monsters, cards for characters and monsters, and things for all your different, yeah, that looks fun. That's cool. I love stuff like that. So that's Humblewood. So that is it is compatible with 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, which I don't have any of the books for yet, but I bet we can figure it out. So yay, fun stuff. I like fun stuff, and this is very exciting to me because I love Dungeons and Dragons. So I bet I'll enjoy this too. Good morning, y'all. I've been up for a while. I've been cleaning house. I'm starting to do that deep cleaning stuff that you do before the winter time sets in, where I'm like knocking down the cobwebs and dusting the corners that haven't been dusted in a while, and scrubbing floors and baseboards and stuff. And so I'm doing that this morning, and I've been applying for some events, and I applied for some events for next year. And you know, a couple of them are like, on their page, they said, well, send this in and we'll contact you within 48 hours to let you know we got your stuff. Which, okay, cool. Hadn't heard anything. So I sent a message, didn't hear anything. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to keep sending messages because I don't want to be like stalker woman. But one of them I applied to, and like a couple of them, I'm punching above my weight class on some of them because some of them are really big events, and I'm not well known at all. And anyway, so I contacted this one that's not that big, but they think they are, I guess. And I realize it's in January, so it's full, but I'm like, hey, can I get on a wait list? Can I, I sent them all my stuff and they didn't say anything. And then I said, hey, I realize I sent you a bunch of stuff. I know you're probably full. Could I get on a wait list? And they didn't say anything. And then they finally said, well, we'll contact you. And I said, okay, well, is there an application for me to fill out? Because, a lot of times they're going to want your application on a file so they can get in touch with you. And they said, no, we'll just contact you if there's an opening. And I'm like, well, you don't know how, other than through Facebook Messenger. I don't know. It just kind of bothered me a little bit because they could have said, hey, thank you for your stuff, or I don't know. I realize I'm nobody important and nobody special. And then a couple of them, I filled out all this stuff. They have this very extensive online application that I filled out, and I wrote all this stuff, and I sent pictures, and I sent links, and I did all this stuff. Nothing. Crickets. Not a word. And so I'm going to drive to Tulsa at their next fair because it says you need to drive up here and meet me. So I'm going to drive 3 hours to go meet this person. And they're probably going to tell me no because their fair is probably full. But, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I'm feeling a little discouraged. I mean, I know I'm nobody important. I know that I'm not technically an artist. I'm not technically anything. I'm just me. But it frustrates me that there is so much gatekeeping in these communities sometimes. And I guess it's not really gatekeeping, but it just frustrates me because they could at least say, hey, thanks for sending your stuff. But anyway, I do have some things already booked for next year. Like I'm doing Mystic South for sure. And I may have some more news about that coming up soon. I have to wait a little bit before I can talk about it. But I'm doing the Enchanted events here in Arkansas. I'm applied and may get into some events in Kansas City and Nashville. I'm going to apply to Pagan Unity Festival. I need to do that this week sometime. Yeah, so if y'all know of any events around where you're at, any metaphysical events that are east of the Rockies, bookstores that do things, markets, preferably something that's like over a weekend. But I'm willing to drive. So anyway, I'm just feeling discouraged today a little bit, but that's okay. It's okay. It's you know, it's part of it. So anyway, I will check in with y'all in a little bit. Well, I did a little thrift store shopping today. I found some cool things, and I'll show them to you. The first one that I'll show you is this sweet little handmade guy. I'm a sucker for handmade toys. So, yes, I found him. But let me show you what else I got. But before I do that, I have solved the mystery of my missing shoe. I had left my black sandals out on the steps the other day because they were wet. Well, I went to get them today to wear them to town. One of them was gone. So I'm guessing that Ricky the raccoon or Polly Possum, there's some teeth marks on this, decided that it would be fun to take my shoes. But now I have found it. So anyway, let me show you what I got. Hi guys. Jessica wants me to give you a squeaky chicken. I should do that. I've got one that the dogs aren't playing with, but in the meantime, in between time, it's time to eat. Yay. Hi, guys. Hello. So what I was looking for at the thrift store today was things that I can upcycle or repurpose to use for my bone art. And also games and puzzles and things like that that are fun. I like to shop at a place called Marva, which is a local place that is for developmentally delayed adults. They let them work there, making, doing recycling or shredding paperwork or whatever. And then they also have a thrift store. They work in the thrift store. And then all of that money stays in my local community, which I really think that's important. So I support them. And then there's also the Battered Women's Shelter that has a thrift store. And they are a good place to shop at too. So let me show you what I got. So first of all, this book was laying out, and I'm like, Joel's like, you have to get that book. That book was waiting for you. So I bought that book. And then I got this because I thought it was kind of cool. The sea is everything. It covers 7/10 of all the terrestrial globe. I thought that was really cool. So those are just kind of for me. But this, look at this. I'm going to spray that black, I think, and put some skulls in it, or put some bones or something in it, and that'll be super cool. So that's the first thing I got. Then, let's see, I found this. This is solid wood. This is probably maple, and it's already on a stand, so I think I'm just going to put a cool wood burn design on it, and it'll be ready to sell. So all I got to do is wood burn and design it. It's a little scratched up. I don't know, maybe it was a bookend. I have no idea what this was, but looks pretty cool. Then I got this because I'm going to take it and paint the glass black and make a scrying mirror out of it. So scrying mirrors are mirrors you use like a crystal ball to try to look for information. So paint it black and do that with it. I also got this one to do the same thing with. So what I do is I paint the glass black and then flip the black part to the inside so it doesn't scratch. And then I found this cool Celtic one. This is a clodagh, but I'm going to paint that glass black too. Then I got this. So I'm going to paint the angels black. And I follow Coven of Crones on TikTok, and she likes to bling things. So I'm going to paint this black and then probably put some black decorative rhinestones or silver on it, and then put a crystal ball on the top of it. Won't that be cool? So one of the favorite things I found was this. This is a Russian, made in Russia nesting doll. All the parts are there. It's in incredibly good shape, and I paid $2 for it. There's five or six little dolls in here. They're all there. The paint on it is still in really good shape. There's a little bit of smuts on it where they put the tape on it, which I wish they hadn't done that to tape it shut. It kind of pulled a little bit of the varnish off of the outer one, but she's still beautiful. Her paint's still in really good shape, and all of them on the inside, she's really beautiful. Painted with these kind of purple flowers here. So yay, I was really excited to find her. Let's see what else we got. Found a couple of toys. Couldn't leave these guys behind. They were super sweet. So I found this candle holder. Again, it's a pretty good color, so it would look really cool with a skull or something on top of it. Then I found a couple of other things to paint for scrying mirrors. So I found these all to do that with. So I'll paint all of those. And then I found some games. These are all cranium, 2 versions of cranium, and a couple of puzzles. And those are my thrift store finds today. So yay, we'll repurpose those and take them to an event. Okay, so before I get to painting stuff, I wanted to restain these little boxes I got. So I found these little coffin-shaped boxes for Halloween. And I bought 4 to start with at Michael's. And I stained them, and I made little spooky season spell kit. So I drew Memento Mori figures on them, and then I put a little thing of salt and a little candle and a little charm and some spell components in there. So if you wanted to do spell work for spooky season, you could. So these were the last 2 they had. I sold all of the other ones, which was good. I sold part of them in Hot Springs, and I sold part of them at the Pride event Saturday night. So I wanted to stain these to make them look a little bit nicer. And so I had stained the outsides of them, and I like to stain the insides too. So I'm going to try to be very careful about this so I don't get stain on my clothes, because I did not change into my crafty clothes when I got home. Of course not, because I got too excited and wanted to get this done right away. So I am staining the inside of these little boxes now. And then what I did was I decoupaged on the inside a little bit. I drew the Memento Mori figures on the outside with a paint marker, the winged skulls and stuff. I drew those on the outside, and then I decoupaged the inside of them, and then I packed the little components in there. And a lot of the stuff was stuff that I already had, you know, like I picked up here and there and I hadn't used. And so I decided to repurpose it and use them for this. So I got these last 2 on clearance sale the other day when I went into Michael's. Remember, I went in there the other day to use my gift certificate. And these were the last 2. They had other ones, but they were damaged, so I didn't buy those. But anyway, so I'm staining the outs. This one is not taking the stain very evenly on it, which is okay. I mean, that's just part of it, of these little plywood boxes. But the other one I had stained with gold and pecan, and it doesn't look very good. So I'm going to use a different color on it, I think. I've got some, let's see, this is mahogany, and then this is red oak. I think I'm going to use the mahogany on it. So I'm going to go back over the outside of it with mahogany stain. So I'm trying really careful not to get this on me. And I did remember to wear gloves at least this time, so that's good. But I don't want to get this on my shirt, because this is my shirt from last year when we went up to the Witch's Escape in Eureka Springs. I went up and helped Joel vend on Friday. So yeah, so this is, yeah, this looks better. This looks better. So I'm wiping off the excess stain right now. The school bus is going by. So they must not go very far over the road. We just went up the road, so they must be just going right up the road and turning around and coming back. So anyway, so yeah, so got that one stained. I'm going to do the inside real quick of it, or you know, probably should wait and let the outside dry, but why bother? We're just fast and loose with our craftiness here. Get that done, and then I'll get the little figures drawn on them and get them packed up. So I don't have another event in October. I've got a one-day thing coming up, And then I have Enchanted, and then Kansas City Metaphysical at the end of November. So my last 3 events are in November for this year. I don't have anything scheduled for December at all. I might do, I've been talking to a couple of, I do have a pop-up shop. I have a pop-up shop at the, if you're local, I'm doing a class at the Parlor November 9th. I'm doing a pop-up shop and a charms class at the Parlor in Hot Springs. So if you're somewhat local, you can come check that out. But yeah, so get these all wiped down good here and get them drying, and so that they'll look nice, and then they'll be ready to decorate, and well, seal them first and then decorate. So that'll be good. Yeah, so all right, so that one's pretty well ready to go. Okay, so now I'm gonna put the lid back on that stain before I turn it over and make a mess all over my porch again. And we'll go paint some stuff. Yay. So I did change. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paint this bird cage. I've got some Valspar anti-rust paint that I got at the feed store, so I'm gonna paint a coat of that on there. I don't know if I'm gonna put any like glittery stuff on this or not yet. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, so this bird cage looks like it opens on the top here. It's got 3 of these, and then it looks like it has a hinge. So yeah, so it opens up like that, and then I can put stuff down inside of it. So I'm going to paint this, shoot a coat of paint on this, and then we'll get to the other stuff. Turns out that Valspar was the can that I got that was clogged up. So I'm going to use this Krylon Fusion all-in-one paint and primer on it and see if that will, yeah, this one's working. So we'll use that instead. It's going to take several passes on this because of the way it's built. It's hard to get good coverage on it. So I'm going to let this, as much as I've got done, dry, and then I'll come back and do a little bit more. So I got everything painted, at least with 1 coat of paint. Got the juice for the win. Woohoo! So the mirrors, as long as they look good, I'm not going to put another coat on them. I'll just put them back in their frames. So what I do is I paint them, and then I put the painted side on the back side. Of course, the glass needs to be cleaned on the front side, but as long as the black looks good, they'll be good. So this one was still attached, so I ended up painting the back of it black because it was still, the glass was glued to the frame, and I was afraid I'd break it. Painted the candle holder. It's got a little damage on one of the wings, but I can cover that up. And I've got the bird cage mostly painted. So, yay! Well, I got my stuff painted, and I ran out of black paint, so I'm gonna have to stop to get some more at some point. But right now I am just relaxing. I made dinner, and I've done a little house cleaning because Joel's coming over tomorrow to stay tomorrow night and most of the day Thursday. And I gathered up some stuff and took out the trash and did all the things you do just as part of the routine day to day. But I wanted to show y'all something that I got. I'm going to make these into pendants, not independents. These are, I don't know how well you can tell what those are. They're dandelion seeds. They're little wish pendants. So they're little wish balls, and so I'm going to make them into little pendants to sell at Enchanted. So I thought that would be super fun. I also got some sea glass pieces here to use on some of my artwork. I got, these out. These are little leaf shapes. They're little pieces of sea glass, and they are drilled this way. So they're drilled so that the leaf faces forward. So I got those to use on some of my artwork too. I have been in this mood to do kelpies, which I showed you the one piece, and I worked on another one the other night. I'll show you when it's closer to being done. So I may make a bigger kelpie piece and use it on that. So, but right now I'm pretty tired. So I am probably going to have an early night tonight because I'm going to get up in the morning and tidy around and then work and then go meet Joel or pick Joel up because they need the car. His family needs the car. So I'll go pick him up. They have 2 cars, but you know, I don't like leaving them without vehicles. So I'll just go get, plus it's a way to spend more time with him. A little sneaky. But anyway, oh, hi Baxter. But so anyway, I'm probably going to go on and call it a night here, and I will check in with y'all. Maybe we get some video of us together the next couple of days. So, oh, hi Baxter. Are you being a love pig? Yes. Being a love. Yes. Hi. Yes. Okay, I'll check in with y'all tomorrow.